You've probably been told to learn proper fighting technique if you want to defend yourself. Boxing combos, wrestling takedowns, martial arts forms, and you're wondering why none of that helps when someone's actually trying to hurt you on the street. That's the problem most people never solve. They're training for a sport with rules, referees, and protective gear. But a real street fight doesn't have any of that. No rounds, no tap-outs, no illegal moves, just you and someone who wants to cause damage as fast as possible. But here's what that traditional training is actually costing you. You're ignoring the 7 moves that end fights instantly because they're too brutal for the ring. And guess what? You can learn them right now. Works even if you've never trained a day in your life. You don't need strength. You don't need speed. You just need to know where to strike and how to strike it so the other person can't continue. 3 seconds. 7 moves. That's all you need to walk away safe. I know it sounds simple and might be hard to believe, so let me show you. You see, when people think about street fights, the easy part to figure out is throwing punches. That's where everyone starts. You don't need anything complicated. Make a fist, aim for the head, swing hard. Makes sense, right? All of it boxing-based. Jab, cross, hook. Like you're in a gym with gloves and headgear. Unless you're fighting in an actual ring with rules, you're handicapping yourself massively. But did you notice we didn't mention anything about targets that drop people instantly? This is where it falls apart for most folks. Fight-ending strikes. They're the ones martial arts gyms never seem to teach, right? Why? Because they're illegal in every combat sport. Too dangerous, too brutal, guaranteed to cause injury. And unless you've trained specifically for street survival, you're probably walking around thinking a punch to the jaw is your best option. It's not. But here's the thing. If you're trying to outbox someone in a street fight, you're playing a game with unknown rules. You don't know if they can fight. You don't know if they have friends about to jump in. You don't know if they have a weapon. While you're trying to land clean punches like you're in a sparring match, they might be going for your eyes, your throat, or worse. If you're fighting fair in a street situation, you bring disgrace to the survival gang. So here's how you end it in 3 seconds with moves that work whether you're trained or not. First forbidden move is the throat strike. If you've got hands, congrats. You've got access to the most vulnerable target on the human body, the throat. One clean strike to the windpipe, and the fight is over. They can't breathe. They can't swallow. They're panicking and trying to get air while you're walking away. This isn't a knockout. This is a shutdown. Their entire system is compromised and fighting is no longer possible. At first, this might feel extreme if you've been raised to fight clean. That's fine to get started. You're rewiring your survival instinct. Once you understand that your safety matters more than their comfort, you'll see why this works. That's the adaptation you're chasing. Here's how you do it. When someone's in front of you and aggression is imminent, you're not aiming for their face. You're aiming for the center of their throat. Right where you can see the windpipe. The strike itself is simple. Straight punch with your first 2 knuckles aimed at that soft spot between their collarbones. Or, if you want even more effectiveness, use the edge of your hand in a chopping motion. Palm strike works too. The target is small, but it's unprotected. They're not expecting it because everyone aims for the face. You hit the throat, they crumple, and you leave. Do not stay to see if they're okay. You defended yourself, and now you exit immediately. The second forbidden move is the eye gouge. Like seriously, how is someone supposed to keep fighting when they can't see? They can't. Vision is everything in a fight. Take it away, and they're helpless. This move is so effective that it's banned in every combat sport, and most self-defense instructors won't teach it because it's considered too brutal. But in a real street situation, where your safety is on the line, brutal is exactly what you need. You're not trying to win a trophy, you're trying to survive. Here's the technique. If someone grabs you, rushes you, or gets too close, your fingers go straight to their eyes. You're not poking gently, you're driving your thumb or fingers into their eye socket with force. They will immediately release any grip they have on you. Their hands will go to their face, they'll back away or drop to the ground. The fight is over. Most people hesitate to do this because it feels wrong. It is wrong in a sport. It's not wrong when someone is trying to hurt you. Train yourself to recognize the difference. Drill this by practicing the motion in the air. Straight fingers to eye level. Fast and direct. You'll never use this in sparring or training. You'll only use it when your safety is actually threatened. The third forbidden move is the groin strike. Every single person, regardless of size or strength, has the same weakness between their legs. One solid strike to the groin, and they're not fighting anymore. They're on the ground, nauseous, unable to stand or think straight. This is basic biology. The groin is packed with nerve endings and has zero protection. A light tap hurts. A full power strike ends the encounter immediately. This move doesn't require technique. You don't need to know how to kick properly. You just need to drive your foot, knee, or hand into the target with commitment. Here's how you execute it. If someone is standing in front of you, a front kick straight up into the groin, lift your knee high, drive your foot upward, make contact. If they're grabbing you or you're in close range, knee strikes work even better. Grab their shoulders, pull them down, drive your knee up. The impact will fold them. If you're on the ground and they're standing over you, your kick goes up between their legs. Simple, effective, guaranteed to work. The mistake people make is hesitating or not committing fully. They tap it and the other person just gets angry. You have to strike like you mean it. Full power, no hesitation. This isn't sparring, this is survival. The fourth forbidden move is the ear slap. Your ears are incredibly fragile. A sharp slap to both ears simultaneously can rupture eardrums, cause disorientation, and create immediate pain that drops people where they stand. This move is fast, doesn't require strength, and works on anyone regardless of size. The setup is simple. When someone is facing you and within arm's reach, your hands come up on both sides of their head and you clap their ears with your palms. Not a light tap, a hard, sharp strike. The air pressure from the slap compresses into their ear canals and causes damage. Here's the drill. Practice the motion without a target. Hands at shoulder width, clap forward like you're slapping the sides of someone's head. Fast and explosive. When you land this in a real situation, they'll immediately lose balance. Their hands go to their ears. They might drop to their knees. Their ability to fight is gone because their equilibrium is destroyed. This is one of the fastest fight-ending moves because it takes less than a second to execute and the effect is instant. Most people have never been hit this way, so they're not prepared for it mentally or physically. The fifth forbidden move is the knee stomp. Your knee is one of the most fragile joints in your body. It's designed to bend one direction. If you force it to bend the other direction, it breaks. A stomp to the side of someone's knee will hyperextend it, tear ligaments, and drop them immediately. They will not chase you. They will not stand back up. The fight is over and you leave while they're on the ground, unable to move. This technique doesn't require you to be strong or fast. You just need to stomp the right spot with your heel or the bottom of your foot. Here's how it works. If someone is standing with their weight on one leg, that leg is the target. Lift your foot and drive your heel down into the side of their knee. You're kicking laterally, not straight on. The knee buckles, they collapse, and you're gone. This is especially effective when someone is trying to grab you or push you, because their weight is forward and their legs are planted. That makes their knee vulnerable and easy to access. Train this by practicing the stomping motion on a heavy bag or padded target. Aim for knee height. Drive through the target. The stomp should be violent and committed. Half effort won't work. The sixth forbidden move is the elbow strike to the temple. The temple is a thin part of the skull that sits right above your cheekbone and in front of your ear. A solid strike here can cause a knockout or worse. Your elbow is the hardest striking surface on your body. When you combine that elbow with the vulnerable temple target, you get a fight-ending combination that requires almost no technique, just proximity and commitment. This move is illegal in almost every combat sport because of how dangerous it is. But in a street situation, that danger is exactly why it works. Here's the setup. If someone rushes you or you're in close range, you're not punching, you're raising your elbow and driving it into the side of their head. The motion is simple. Bring your elbow up like you're trying to touch your shoulder to your ear, then snap it sideways into their temple. The impact is devastating. They drop instantly or they're so disoriented they can't continue. Practice this on a heavy bag. Aim for head height on the side. Short, sharp, explosive movement. You don't need a big wind-up. The power comes from the hardness of your elbow and the fragility of the target. The seventh forbidden move is the finger break. When someone grabs you, they're giving you access to their fingers. Fingers are weak. They break easily. And once their fingers are broken, their ability to grab, punch, or hold anything is gone. This is a simple mechanical advantage. You can break their fingers faster than they can react. This move is especially useful if someone is choking you, grabbing your clothes, or holding you down. You're not trying to overpower their whole arm. You're isolating one or two fingers and snapping them backward. Here's the technique. Identify which fingers are gripping you. Grab one or two of them with your hand. Pull them back toward their wrist as hard as you can. They will break or dislocate. The grip releases immediately. They're in pain. The fight is over. This works on any size opponent because finger strength doesn't scale with body size. A 300-pound man has fingers just as fragile as a 150-pound man. Practice the motion by grabbing your own fingers and gently pulling them backward to feel the leverage. When you do this for real, there's no gentle. You're breaking them with full commitment. Now let's talk about when you actually use these moves. You do not use these in sparring, you do not use these in training, you do not use these in mutual combat or a fair fight. These are survival tools for when someone is attacking you with intent to harm and you need to end the situation immediately. If you can leave, you leave. If you can de-escalate, you de-escalate. But if you're trapped and someone is coming at you with violence, these 7 moves give you the tools to shut them down in 3 seconds and get to safety. Alright, quick reality check. We're teaching brutal techniques here, but let's not forget the legal and moral responsibility. You use these moves only when you're in legitimate danger, not in an argument, not because someone insulted you, not to prove a point. When you genuinely believe you're about to be seriously harmed and you have no other option, that's the standard. If you use these techniques outside that context, you're committing assault and you'll face consequences. So be smart. Know the difference between ego and actual danger. These moves are emergency tools, not go-to options. So yeah, that's it. 7 forbidden moves that end a street fight in 3 seconds. Throat strike to shut down breathing. Eye gouge to eliminate vision. Groin strike to drop them instantly. Ear slap to destroy equilibrium. Knee stomp to remove mobility. Elbow to temple for an instant knockout. Finger break to release any grip. These aren't all the moves you could learn, but they're the ones that work fastest with the least skill required. Let us know in the comments if you've ever had to use any of these in a real situation. You don't need years of training. You don't need to be strong or fast. You don't even need fighting experience if we're being honest. You just need to know where to strike and have the commitment to follow through when your safety depends on it. These moves are banned from every sport because they're too effective. That's exactly why they work on the street. No one's expecting them. No one's trained to defend them. And when you use them correctly, the fight ends before it really starts. Now you know what to do if you ever have no choice. Use it wisely and only when necessary.